afternoon. I'm Clare Kinlin with MacEwens Agriservices in Eastern Ontario here at Dwight Foster's North Gower Grain Customer Appreciation Day. It's an annual event here. I'm here with Chris and Mark. So Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
I'm the Pioneer Area Agronomist for Eastern Ontario. Cover the rural routes of this part of the province, basically from Belleville to the Quebec border and up through Renfrew County. So happy to be here today. I think it's great that Dolores has put this together. It's good to keep in touch and stay positive, and especially the podcast media. I like that. I learn a lot from podcasts, so it'll be good for sure.
Very good. And Mark, local farmer here. So.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. So Mark Foster from Jockbrae Farms. We farm a little west of here, and my family and mom and dad, sister, her family, and we work with Dekalb. Working with a lot of good growers in this area, and we're really happy to be here, and looking forward to a good day for folks today.
So, very good. So we like to do every year. We like to do a little bit of a crop update, what we're seeing going on out in the fields. Fortunate enough, we all like to walk a lot of fields. We see what's going on, and probably one of the things we see most of this year or questions about is that early planting. We had a really nice window to get some stuff in planting. But what did it do to our stand counts? Some of that early planted corn and even early planted soybeans kind of took a little bit on the chin, and what we had to do to fix some of those, and did we have to fix them? So Chris, I know you've been doing some stuff with your drone and things of population. What are you seeing out there for population?
For sure, yeah, no, it was definitely a really great start to the season. I can remember we got really rolling around the April 25th time frame in some areas, pretty good. So that's new to me in this neck of the woods. This will be my third season working as an agronomist here, and we just were given some really fortunate weather, and I think soil conditions were generally pretty good. So a lot of guys describing the soil as fluffy or really mellow. Yeah,
on top, fluffy,
yeah,
right?
In a lot of that.
On top.
In a lot of those early situations, so that and that drove a lot of guys to get going.
Okay, guys, what about heat units? Where are we at compared to last year in long term? So we ran some numbers there earlier. May 1st to June, today we were at 791 heat units. Last year we were 733 heat units, so about 60 heat units behind from last year. But we're still 200 heat units behind our long-term average, right? And so we talked about those cold nights and stuff. So what is that doing to the crop? And more importantly, what do you think of the nitrogen cycle and what it's doing to that as well?
Yeah, I think what we seen early on, right? We had some really nice warm days at the peak of the day, but it dropped quite cool at night, right?
And that nighttime temperature is the real driver in metabolism of the corn plant, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And soybean plant. But if it gets cold at night, it really has an impact on how much sugar that plant can metabolize.
Exactly. Yeah, I would agree. And so we see that in the crop we're managing today, right? And the earlier comments on residues, right? I think with the late harvest we had this year, it's really there's a lot of residues sitting out there, right? Waiting for things to get moving, right? And I think we'll start to see that as things get warmer here and as nitrogen goes on. But I really think that'll definitely influence the way we manage this crop going forward.
So Mark, on your farm, we talked just off what are you doing for nitrogen? Are you're split applying your nitrogen?
Yeah, so we're split applying the nitrogen. There's a lot of manure. There's a lot of different stuff going on, but for the most part, there's going to be 50 pounds go up front, and then the balance gets streamered onto the sprayer after. Multiple different ways of doing it. That's how we're doing it.
Yeah, pound to end is pound to end, right? So
pound to end is pound to end.
Yeah.
We're shooting for, depending on the year, kind of in that 0.8 kind of range
per bushel. Yeah. So and then you're managing that by field and by farm.
By field, by farm, right? We talked about population earlier.
Yeah.
We got the hill that got cold, knocked out a bunch of population. We're not going to spend the farm on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Ground, right?
That's the nice thing about splitting in, right? You can adapt that nitrogen application on it.
That's right.
And stuff.
That's right.
There's still a lot of nitrogen that goes on up front, and we can lock it down with different products and stuff up front. But by splitting it, it really allows you to modify what you would do.
It just gives you some flexibility, right? I can be a lot smarter now or last
Oh.
week than I can be 60 days
Oh
ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So we'll switch over a little bit to soybeans, right? Because we're coming up to soybean time with flowering. We're starting to see some flowers. I saw some flowers there today, actually. I think there's
Right.
probably some there before, right? So what does that flowering time for soybeans mean right now? What do we got to do, Mark?
Thinking about fungicide.
Yeah.
Yep.
We want
But they're only this tall. Like,
don't matter. I mean, the prices, everyone wants to talk about, oh, the prices are this, price are that. At the end of the day, the prices are what they are. It's out of our control, right?
Right.
And there's gonna be some great stuff happen here today, I'm sure, but at the end of the day, we gotta raise a big crop.
Yeah.
That's what we as farmers need to do.
Yield pays the bills, right?
Yield is gonna pay the
Yeah.
bill. We cannot save our way to prosperity.
And I think you're right, like, we gotta control what we can control, and I think fungicides is a big component of that going forward, right?
Yeah.
And, I mentioned, we had some beans in on April 25th, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
left some, till May 13, planted a strip there, so we'll be interested to see how things flower there, but it definitely can start seeing, I think, flowering's on. So
Yeah, we're starting to see some flowering. So we want to do a 2-pass system, and even if you're really high, like that field beside the barn that was corn silage last year, those beans look phenomenal right now, right? So your best looking beans today could be your ugliest beans come September,
They could
October,
be,
right?
you need to be noting that down somewhere,
Yeah.
however you take care of things,
Yeah.
that field will be a challenge, right?
Yeah, so be on top of it, right? So
Be
we
on
need
top.
that, we need that first white mold application, that fungicide application. When are you guys looking at? 1st of July period time, that R1 to R2 period, so not maybe the end of next week, the first of the week after, we probably wanna get
Yeah,
up
it's
there.
coming.
Yeah, we wanna protect those first flowers. When do you want that next application?
Depending on the variety and like you say, the pressure, to me, we just gotta keep those flowers clean. We gotta keep them clean, start clean, keep them clean all the way through. So,
And that overall health benefit to the soybean plant,
Sure.
right? Like,
Yeah.
once we get that fungicide into the plant, we get a much better, healthier plant that can offset some of the other diseases.
And I mean,
and
if
stuff.
you're looking at a bigger crop, like say, you had 6 trifoliates by first flower, or you're doing really well and you're looking at a really nice crop of beans, I think definitely, get that early pass on and then come back in at R2, R2.5. Really pay attention to the flowers of that crop, right? And what they're telling you about when we should be going in.
Yeah, when we see it from the road, it's too late, right?
Exactly.
All our fungicides are curative,
and,
right?
and would you say, Claire,
Or
maybe
preventative, sorry, not curative.
as farmers, for the most part, we're almost late, if anything, on that second pass?
Yeah, the
So
second one.
shoot for early.
Yeah, get it done so that we can protect the yield potential, because our best fields are most at risk for white mold as well, so. And we've actually seen some pretty good results of putting some foliars in with some of those, with the fungicide as well. So guys are a little bit short on potassium and stuff, it's helping them out, and even in those fields out. It's not for everybody, but there is some potential to have some foliars in there, as long as they're good quality foliars and not burning the crop up, so. We'll probably want
Jar
to.
test.
Yeah, make sure they're good.
Good catch.
Yeah, probably one of the negatives still on the crop year is what we're seeing right now in our cereals, right?
Yep.
Our spring cereals, and we know we need wheat here, or we need straw here in eastern Ontario. Winter wheat wise, Mark, did your wheat make the winter?
It didn't, unfortunately,
No.
but there was some that made it through. Some didn't, unfortunately, but that's just the way she
That's
goes.
Eastern
Right? That's the
Ontario,
way
right?
she goes.
So,
So,
yeah.
I mean, a lot of folks were pretty committed to growing cereals, though. So there was
Yeah.
a lot of spring wheat got put in and went in with some pretty good conditions, but kind of maybe went off the rails. But I mean, like I say, the positive part of it is the corn and soybeans. There's a lot of good corn and soybean crops out
Yeah.
there.
I'd say on the winter wheat side of things, there's some pretty good looking crops of winter wheat down towards that Princeton,
Yeah, a little further south,
yeah. It's gotten better from what I've seen through.
And up the valley is pretty good too.
Yeah.
And Chris, like we've had some timely,
Good.
more timely rains up through there. The winter kills a little bit less up through that area. I think there's some, and all that wheat flowered before this heat.
Yeah, kernel set. And,
Yeah.
we're starting to see that plumpness of the kernel. I think that'll really
It's gonna help us that winter wheat. Spring wheat, I think is gonna be in trouble.
And the
with it.
quality of what's there should be great.
It'll be great, there just won't be a lot of it, I don't think. I think we're gonna be
For
very
sure.
impressed for the spring wheat. But on a positive, I think the corn plant is set up really well. Our corn roots, they're going deep, they're getting through that, they're
Yeah.
looking for moisture. I think there's lots of soil moisture yet, we're talking about we need a rain, the rain would hide a lot of mistakes, right? But I think if you did a good job, I think our plants are off to a pretty good shape that way, so. And maybe just to wrap things up, Chris, anything you wanna conclude with?
Yeah, I guess, guys, it's just, you know, that comment on controlling what we can control going forward, I think is really important. But again, I just say it's great that we can gather here again and chat and talk agronomy for a bit. Yeah, it's just that's about it. Hopefully, you guys have had a successful season so far.
Mark, I think that.
Yeah, well said, Chris. I mean, thanks to the crew in North Gower for putting this together, and that's great. Well
Yeah, and I just want to thank and wish the best to the Foster family and all the stuff they do for our agricultural community here in Eastern Ontario. It wouldn't be the same without them here to help us and promote and build what they built here. So all the best of luck, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next year.